Hello everyone. In this video, we will be discussing the provisional answer key of the recent NET exam, that is the December 2020 and June 21 cycles held in November 2021. So, we will begin with the first question, that is, which of the following is true for a bank rate? The options are: bank rate is a direct instrument of credit control, a bank rate is a qualitative instrument, bank rate is the minimum rate at which central bank provides credit to the financial institutions against the securities of the government, and increase in bank rate by central bank would increase money supply keeping other factors constant. So, this question is a very direct question regarding the bank rate. So, the answer for this which was given in the answer key was answer C, that is bank rate is the minimum rate at which the central bank provides credit to the financial institutions against securities of the government. So, this question is a little bit confusing because as you can see here, the answer given with the explanation of the bank rate is given as a provision of credit to financial institutions against the securities of the government. So, there may be this might be an explanation given for the repo rate as well. So, in that case this answer is also kind of a confusing one, and similar is the case with all the other options given here also. That means as a direct instrument of credit control and as a qualitative instrument, and obviously option D is also option D cannot also be directly considered for an answer. So, in this case we have a little confusing regarding the answer for this particular question, but the one which was given by NTA is answer option C, that is it is a financial institutions, it is a credit given to financial institutions against securities. So, that was the first question. Now, the second question is an assertion reason question, that is given below are two statements, one is labelled as assertion and the other is labelled as reason. The assertion is given as new capital accumulation is the vehicle of technical progress. The reason given is technical progress is embodied in new machines. So, we have to find out, in the light of the above statements, choose the correct answer from the options given below. So, the option is A is false, R is true, A is true and R is false. Both A and R are true and R correctly explains A, and the final one, A and R are true but R does not explain A. So, the answer is option C, that is both the assertion and the reason are true and R is correct explanation of the assertion. So, the reason given is a correct explanation of the assertion regarding technical progress. Now, moving on to the next question. Which one of the following statement is correct for Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana launched on November 12th, 2020? So, this is a self-reliance program which was initiated by the Prime Minister on November 12th, 2020. The options given are, the statements given are: establishment will get a subsidy of rupees 10 crore for a period of 5 years, establishment will get tax profit continuously for a period of 3 years, establishment will get tax subsidy for 5 years, the establishments which make new hires will get a subsidy to cover the retirement fund contribution by employees and employers for 2 years. So, the answer given by NTA for this question is option D. Option D, that is the correct statement is the establishments which make new hires will get a subsidy to cover retirement fund contribution by employees and employers for at least 2 years. So, that was the question. Now, the next question: which is the correct sequence of the following? These are the WTO conferences given. We have to arrange it in order of the chronological dates. So, the options are rounds given are, conferences given are Uruguay round, the Kennedy round, the Doha round and the Geneva round. So, from the given options we have to chronologically order these rounds. So, the answer is option D here, option D, that is D, B, A and C, that is the Geneva round, Kennedy round, Uruguay round and the most recent one, that is the Doha round. So, the option is answer D in case of this question. Now, the next question is inequalities in income are measured by which of the following. So, this is a very common question which is usually asked and which has been usually asked in most of the NTA exams. The options are Lorentz ratio, Thales index, Palma ratio, deprivation ratio. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. So, which of these is used to represent or measure inequalities of income. The options are A and B only, A and D only, then A only, A, B and C only. So, the answer will be option D, that is A, B and C only, that is excluding the deprivation ratio. All the other ratios of Lorentz ratio, Thales index and Palma ratio will be used to measure inequalities in income. So, the next question is a match the following question. You will have some of the regulatory institutions as well as financial institutions, regulatory financial institutions of India. The list 1 will give you Securities Exchange Board of India SEBI, NSDL, that is National Securities Depository Limited, Credit Rating Information Services of India Limited CRISIL and Investment Information and Credit Rating Agency of India, that is ICRA. You have to match the following these institutions with their establishment, the year of establishment, that is 1991, 92, 1988 and 1996. So, the options given are choose any one from the following and the correct answer would be option B, that is A will be 2, B will be 4, C will be 3 and finally D will be 1, that is option B. Now, the next question. The concept of money illusion was first given by whom? Money illusion, again a classical concept. Irvin Fisher, J.M. Keynes, Milton Friedman and Robertson. Again this is from macroeconomics and classical macroeconomic theory. So, this money illusion is given by, as we all know, the answer is option A. It is a very direct question. Option A, Irvin Fisher, that is money illusion was given by Irvin Fisher. Now, the next question from the general equilibrium part, that is again comes under the microeconomics part, that is general economic equilibrium is not related to which one of the following problems. Again this is a mostly asked question or repetitive question which has been asked in many of the previous exams. The options are existence problem, moral hazard problem, stability problem and the uniqueness problem. Again this is a very easy question. And is a very direct answer. The answer is option B, that is a moral hazard problem. So, this is a very different area. Moral hazard is a very different area, comes under information economics, also comes under microeconomics, but it comes under information economics, and that was the answer for that particular question. And the next question will be which of the following is not a commercial bank. So, this is a very general question related with the functioning of banks and others. And the options are cooperative bank, private sector bank, public sector bank and option D, regional rural banks. So, this is a very again direct question. So, this the answer will be option A, cooperative banks. So, these are cooperative banks are now called cooperative societies. So, it is very evident the answer would be cooperative bank, option A. Now, this is the next question, that is in classical linear regression model xi and ui are assumed to be. So, this is from the econometrics part and this comes under the assumptions of the classical linear regression model, also related with the method of OLS. So, this is the one of the important assumptions. The options given are highly correlated, negatively correlated, not correlated and positively correlated. So, since this is a basic assumption of classical linear regression model, we know that xi as the independent variable and ui as the error term. So, obviously, there should not be any type of relationship between these two values. In that case, the answer would be option C, not correlated. There should not be any correlation between xi and ui. Okay. And we have the next question. According to the census 2011, which one of the following states has the highest share of rural population? So, we have to consider that particular point, that is highest share of rural population. We are considering the share here. The options are option A Bihar, Himachal Pradesh, Odisha and Uttar Pradesh. So, the answer is very direct, again related with Indian economy or demographic economics or demography, that is the option would be, answer would be option B, Himachal Pradesh. So, the next question. In the context of investments, again investments, we are going back to macroeconomics, which one of the following statements is or are correct related to investment? Now, the first statement is, according to the accelerator model, investment demand is proportional to the change in income. Second one, the higher the real interest rate, the higher is the rental cost of capital. Option C is investment is a stock variable. Then the final statement given is the real rate of interest is equal to the nominal rate of interest plus the inflation rate. So, again this is a very basic concept. These are basic concepts related to investment and is can be directly found in macroeconomic theory, and we have options here choosing between A, B, A, D, B, C and C, D. So, since it is very basic, the answer would be option A, that is A and B only, A and B only. The next question is from mathematical economics. The question is from matrices, that is which are the following correct features of matrices. The first one is an identity matrix is a square matrix. Second one, an identity matrix when gets transposed remains an identity matrix, and C is A B transpose is equal to A transpose into B transpose, where A and B are matrices. Now, option D is A inverse transpose is equal to A transpose inverse, where A is a matrix. So, which one of these are the correct features of a matrix? The answers should be chosen from these given options A B, A C, B C and C D, and the correct option will be A and B alone relating to identity matrix and its transpose, that is A and B alone. Answer is option A. The next question is from microeconomics, again from cost theory. As output expands, LAC curve, the long run average curve falls. This is due to, the reason for this falling long run average cost curve. Options are given, that is diseconomies of scale, economies of scale, law of diminishing returns and law of variable proportions. So, this is a very easy and very direct question from cost theory. The answer is option B, that is economies of scale. The LAC falls because of the presence of economies of scale. The next one is with reference to the program Nidhi, which of the following statements is or are correct. So, this is from Indian economy, and we know that Nidhi means National Initiative for Development and Harnessing Innovations. So, this is again a very innovative program initiated by the government and relating to startups. So, which of the following statements are correct? That is, the program of Nidhi was started for students to begin startups. Its aim is to financially support 20 students for startups each year. Its aim is to financially support 200 students for startups each year, and the final statement, that is its aim is to financially support only students of backward classes to start up each year. So, which of these statements are correct? We have options, statements and its different options given here. The answer would be option B, that is A and B alone. The first two statements alone will be correctly specify this particular program, that is Nidhi. Again, the next question from econometrics, as you can see, given below are two statements, that is first statement, again statement question. Statement 1 is, one of the assumptions under OLS, the ordinary least square methods, states that the regression model is linear in parameters, though it may or may not be linear in variables. That was a statement, first statement. The second statement is, the variance of the error or the disturbance term is not the same regardless of the value of the explanatory variables under OLS or ordinary least square. So, which one of the following statements are correct? Statement 1 or statement 2? There are options given, either both of them are correct. either both of them are incorrect, either one is true, the second is false, the first is false, the second is true. So, in this case the answer would be option C, that is statement 1 is correct, that means the assumption of linearity in parameters of Euler's is the correct statement, while statement 2 is incorrect, that is one of the important assumption of a classical linear regression model as well, that means which states heteroscedasticity is a violation. The statement given was relating to heteroscedasticity. So, homoscedasticity is an assumption that is taken by the Euler's method in case of a classical regression model. So, statement 2 is incorrect. Now, the next question is from macroeconomics, again macro theory, classical theory. The independence of real variables from changes in money supply and nominal variables is called a classical dichotomy, Keynesian dichotomy, money illusion and money multiplier. Again you can see the same, that means classical ideas are being repeated here. The answer is very direct, that is option A, classical dichotomy, the separation of the real sector and the money sector. Classical dichotomy is the answer. Now, next question is from LPP, linear programming problem, and given statements represent some of its features. We have to choose which one is the correct. The first statement is a solution is unbounded in an LPP if all feasible solutions of the problem fall within the boundary created by its constraint. The second one, if A is a primal problem and B is its dual, then dual of B is not A. C, if an LPP has two optimum solutions, then it has also infinite number of optimum solutions. D, the constraints of an LPP in standard form is always expressed in less than and equal to form. So, which one of the following statements are correct? The answer is very direct, answer is option C. That is, if an LPP has two solutions, optimum solutions, it means that it also has infinite number of solutions, infinite number of optimum solutions. So, that was one from LPP. The next question is a match the following question, and some of the concepts in economics are given here relating to macro, micro and as well as linear programming. The question is, first list is, the list 1 will give you a convex function, input output analysis, linear programming and marginal propensity to consume. So, we have to find out which of these concepts relate to the ones given in list 2. List 2 will have basic variable, uses of derivative, Hawkins-Simon condition and the demand curve. So, matching these two, we have different options given here. The answer would be option D, that is A is given as 4, B to 3, C to 1 and D to 2. Option D will be the answer of that particular match the following. Again we will have one more match the following list. This is from Indian economy. As you can see, these are different policy initiatives of the government, and the list 2 will give you some of its important features. So, the list 1 will give you Nirvik, Ayushman Bharat, Pradhan Mantri Urja Ganga and Perform, Achieve and Trade, PAT. So, these are some of the policies of the government. We have some of its features given here in the list 2, that is a project directed to provide piped cooking gas to millions of households, a scheme to enhance energy efficiency, export credit insurance scheme, program related to health issues in the primary, secondary and tertiary issues. And the answer will be like this. A will be given as related to 3, B to 4, C to 1 and D to 2. Option C will be the correct answer. The next one is also a question from Indian economy related to taxes, initiation of taxes in India, different types of taxes in India. Arrange the introduction of the following taxes in India in chronological order. We have service tax, income tax, banking transaction tax, gift tax and GST, goods and services tax. We have different combinations given here, and from that we will choose the correct one, that is option C, that is B, D, A, C and E. We will end with goods and services tax, so since that was the most recent one. So, that was that question. The next one is from again mathematical economics, from probability, a very simple probability question. Assuming the probability of a male birth as 0.5, Find the chances that a family of 3 children will have 2 boys and 1 girl. Again direct probability question. The options are 1 by 8, 2 by 8, 3 by 8 and 4 by 8. The answer will be option C, 3 by 8, the probability of the given question. The next one is match list 1 with list 2, that is list 1 will give you different economists and list 2 will give you some of the important development theories, important development concepts. The list 1 will give you Adam Smith, Rodin, Rosenstein, Rodin, Rostow and Karl Marx, and the list 2 will give you theory of big push, traditional society, reserve army of labor and division of labor. It is a very easy and direct question again from development economics. We have options given here and matching the correct one will be option D, that is A to 4, B to 1, C to 2 and D to 3. So, the next question is again a match the following question from macroeconomics. The list 1 will give you menu cost theory, quantitative easing, pump priming, trade-off between inflation and unemployment. These are different concepts in macroeconomics. The list 2 will be the ones which will be these concepts will be related to that is monetary policy, inflation, Phillips curve and fiscal policy. So, we have different options to choose from, different combinations given, and from that the correct answer will be option B, that is A to related to 2, B to 1, C to 4 and D to 3. So, that is the answer for that question. The next question is which of the following sectors of the economy registered highest growth rate in the second quarter of 2021 as per the estimate of the NSO. So, this is the question from Indian economy and the options given are agriculture and allied sectors, electricity, gas, water supply and other utility services, general administration and manufacturing. So, the answer for this question would be option B, that is electricity, gas, water supply and other utility services. So, this is the answer for that question. The next question is from mathematical economics and also from matrices. The question is identify which one of the following statements is correct. The statements given are A inverse is equal to adjoint of A if the value of determinant A is unity. Second statement, if two columns of a determinant are interchanged, the sign of the determinant does not alter. Option C, law of division is allowed in matrix operations. And the final statement, the value of a determinant changes if the rows and columns are interchanged. So, the right answer given is option A, that is A inverse is equal to adjoint of A if the value of determinant A is unity. Now, moving on to the next question. The next question is the incidence of which of the following will be entirely upon the monopolist. Again, this is from public economics related to incidence and impact of tax. The options are lump sum tax, none of these, regulated monopoly pricing and the last one, that is specific tax. The answer for this question will be option A, lump sum tax, that will be directly affect the monopolist. The next question is again a match the following question. This is from the market forms in microeconomics. We have different market forms given in list 1, perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition and oligopoly, and in list 2 the important features of these different market forms, that is many real or perceived differences in products, little or no difference in products, identical product and product without close substitutes. So, this is with related to product substitute, product differentiation in different market forms. We have to choose from the given options here and the right answer would be option C, that is A is matched with 3, B with 4, C with 1 and D with the 2. Now, we will move on to the next question, that is another question from Indian economy related to the banking sector. Arrange the following committees appointed for the banking sector in India in chronological order. Again ordering of different committees. Urjit Patel committee, Goiporia committee, Narasimham committee 1, Chakravarti committee. So, this is again a very commonly asked question in the NET exam. All you have to do is chronologically order it. We have different set of order given here, among which the right one will be given in option C, that is D, B, C and finally with A. Option C is the right answer. Then now we have another Harrod-Hicks problem. that is if a production function admits to both Harrod as well as Hicks neutral technical progress, the elasticity of substitution should be. The options are equal to infinity, equal to 1 divided by 2, equal to 1 and equal to 0. Again answer would be option C, that is it is equal to 1, equal to 1. Okay. Now we have the next question, which is which one of the following are a source of market failure. So this is also a question from public economics, commonly asked question again. The different options are the existence of public goods, the presence of externalities, the fact that some goods are rivals in consumption, the existence of monopolies. So which of these will follow will lead to market failure. So the options given are different set of options are given, and from that we can easily choose the answer, that is option B, A, B and D only. So moving on to the next question, that is we have a function given here, I is equal to 50 plus 0.2y, S is equal to minus 150 plus 0.4y, and we have government expenditure equal to 50, I is given as investment, S as savings, G is government expenditure and Y is the national income. And what is the equilibrium income? Options are 1250, 1500, 250 and 2500. The correct answer would be option A, 1250. Now the next question is improvement in the balance of payment deficit may be effected through. It's from the topic is from balance of payments, international trade, etc. The options given are import controls, export promotion, foreign exchange control and devaluation. So which all methods can be used to correct this BOP deficit? So the options, we have multiple options given here, different combinations from the above options. The right answer would be option C, that is A, B, C and D. All the options given are useful for correcting balance of payment deficit. We have the next question now, which is which of the following are relevant conditions assumed by the factor price equalization theorem. Again this is part of international trade theories from international economics. The options given are the countries are characterized by different factor endowments, the countries are characterized by different production functions, the industries are characterized by different factor intensities, and each country will export the commodities which uses its abundant factor. So which one of these are the important assumptions or conditions of factor price equalization theory? Again we have different options given here, different combinations given, and from that the right answer would be option C, A, C and D alone would be the important relevant conditions for the factor price equalization theory. Again we have a question from international economics related to exchange rates, that is when the exchange rate changes from $1 is equal to rupees 72 to $1 is equal to 68, then what are the implications, or how will you identify what has happened to rupee or dollar? That is rupee has depreciated, dollar has depreciated, rupee has appreciated, dollar has appreciated. So when the dollar changes from 72 to 68, the value of rupee changes from 72 to 68 for a dollar, what has happened to rupee and dollar? The options given are different combinations are given again here. The answer would be A, answer would be option C, that is B and C alone, B and C alone. So the next question is from environmental economics related to Ronald Coase. According to the Ronald Coase, which one of the following statements is correct for pollution control? The options are providing property rights to the polluters and pollutees, providing property rights to the legal institutions, providing property rights to the state, and the final one providing property rights to the trade unions. So the answer will be option A, providing property rights to the polluters and the pollutees. Now the next question again is from environmental economics. As you know that NTA has been giving importance to environmental economics and its related concepts recently in its different exams. So again this is another question from that section, that is list 1 will give you some of the explanations for the concepts given in list 2. We have to match these concepts. List 1 is conserving the environment for a benefit of future generation. Search of alternative fuels is necessary because traditional sources are non-renewable. Wood from the forest is useful as a timber. Insects are important as they help in pollination. So, depending upon the different uses of these environmental resources, the list 2 will give you indirect use value, option value, bequest value and use value of these environmental factors. We have different combinations given here. From that, the right answer will be option C, that is A will be matched with 3, B to 2, C to 4 and D to 1. The next question is, given below are two statements, one is labeled as an assertion, the other as reason. This is again from public economics. The assertion is there is no incentive for a profit maximizing producer to supply public goods. The reason is that if he produces it, he is unable to exclude people from consuming it and hence he cannot charge a price. And in light of the above statements, we have to choose the most appropriate answer. If both statements are correct, if one is true or the other is true, other is wrong, or both of them are correct, one provides the explanation or one does not provide the explanation, and from that the correct answer would be option C, that is both assertion and reason are correct and the reason correctly explains the assertion as well. So, the next question is again from international economics. We have some of the international trade theories and we have some economists. We have to match the theories with their corresponding economist. The list 1 will give us supply side international trade and demand side of international trade, opportunity cost of international trade and real cost theory of international trade. And the list 2 will give us the economist David Ricardo, Bastable and Alfred Marshall, G. Haberler, Alfred Marshall and Edgeworth. So, the correct we have to choose from the different options given here and the answer would be option B, that is A matched with 1, B 4, C 3 and D 2. So, this is the answer for that question. Now, the next question is, which of the following measures are used by a risk averse person to minimize risk? So, risk minimization maximization issue is discussed here. So, which of the following measures or factors will be considered by a risk averse person to minimize risk? That is, we have 4 options: diversification of resources, insurance of risk event, total cost of resources, value of information of risk event. So, out of these, which are the combinations, which combinations of measures are adopted by a risk averse person to reduce risk will have to be chosen from the options given here. The answer is option B, that is A, B and D alone. A, B and D alone, option B. Now, we have the next question, that is, in a situation of decision under uncertainty, if a consumer faces equal unexpected income from 2 alternatives, then she or he will have to take a decision on the basis of. So, if a person is faced with equal expected income from different alternatives, on what basis will he take decision for choosing that particular alternative? So, the question is like that, and the options given here are expected utility of both the alternatives, mean risk of each alternative, probability of risk attached with each alternative, and the final option is variation of risk attached with each alternative. So, from these options, which factor will be considered by that particular consumer? The answer is answer D, that is variation of risk attached with each alternative. That's option D. Again, this is another question from public economics related to taxation. Given 2 statements, one is labeled as assertion and the other is labeled as reason. We have an assertion reason question here, which is somewhat related to the monopolist and behavior of different market forms and its implications, the implications of different tax structures on different market forms, and you can combine both public as well as microeconomics in this case here. And assertion A, a lump sum tax imposed on a monopolist cannot be shifted to the consumers. The reason given is the lump sum tax becomes a part of his fixed cost and it does not affect the marginal cost of production. So, we have to find out in the light of the above statement, we have to choose which is the appropriate answer, as in which assertion, whether the assertion or reason is correct, or the reason can substantiate the assertion. The answer is option C, that is both A and R are correct, and R gives us the correct explanation of A. The answer for that question is option C here. Now we have the next question. Again, this is from environmental economics related to environmental evaluation, the measurement of environmental, the factors of environmental evaluation. Which of the following statements are correct for environment evaluation? The first one is travel cost method measures the recreational values of environmental resources. We have the hedonic pricing, which is used for environmental amenities associated with property values. The next option is replacement cost method, used by substituting natural resources with the man-made equipment. And the final one, that is defensive expenditure, which deals with the preventive measures. So these are some of the measures of environmental evaluation. Which one is, which of the statements is true? So we have to choose from these combinations or options given here, and we have the answer as option B, that is all of them are true, that is A, B, C and D are correct, and that the option is option B. Next comes another question from macroeconomics. Which one of the following correctly describes the concept of super multiplier? So we have to see here that the questions from macroeconomics are generally of the very basic level. That means most of the questions that we discussed were from either from classical theory or from investment related questions, and all of them were the very basics questions only, nothing more complex was asked here. So this question is also such an example. We know what is super multiplier. The options given are employment multiplier, interaction between multiplier and accelerator, investment multiplier and money multiplier. So the answer is option B here, that is the interaction between multiplier and an accelerator is called a super multiplier. So the answer is option B for this question. Another one is also a very much asked question about Finance Commission. The 15th Finance Commission has recommended that the states be given what percentage of their divisible tax pool of the center during the period 2021, 22 to 25, 26. So over this period, how much what percentage of their divisible tax pool should be made available to the states? The options are 31, 41, 51 and 61. So the answer is option B, 41. Again, this is a question from you can ask which can be considered from the part of Indian economy as well. Then the next question, that is identify the proper sequence in the traditional econometric methodology of conducting research. Again, this is a very basic level question from econometrics. So that means we have the methodology or methodology of econometrics. That means the steps that we follow while we consider an econometric analysis. Though, so the steps given here are data collection, policy prescription, testing of hypothesis and formulation of hypothesis. We have 4 options. Again, we have to order it in case of the methodology. We have different combinations or orders given here, and the correct order is D, A, C and B. That is option D will be the correct answer for this econometric steps of econometric methodology question. Answer D, option D. Next question is about tariff, again from international economics. The question is about what optimum tariff is. So there are 4 options given: maximizes total export sales of imposing country, most occur in the elastic range of the particular country's offer curve, most occur in the elastic range of the tariff imposing home country's offer curve, and it takes account of the probability that the partner country will retaliate with protective measures of its own. So we have 4 options given here for optimum tariff. Again, the answer will be option B, that is optimum tariff must occur in the elastic range of the partner country's offer curve. The answer is option B. The next question is again from statistics. The sampling distribution of mean based on a sample of 13 units selected without replacement shows a variance of 5 units. If the population consists of 49 units, estimate the variance of the population. We have to find out the value of that particular variance of that particular population. The options given are 80.67, 84.87, 86.67 and 86.87. The answer is option C, 86.67. The next question is also a very common question regarding the Cobb-Douglas production function and its properties. We have 4 options. Cobb-Douglas production function is a homogeneous production function. Curves representing average and marginal productivity of the inputs are not downward sloping. Marginal productivity of labor and capital in Cobb-Douglas production function are functions of the capital labor ratio. Isoquants of Cobb-Douglas production functions are positively sloped. Again, we have to choose from different options given here, that is A, B, B, C, B, D and C, D. The answer is option C, that is B and D alone, that is B and D only. Then the next question is about the credit creation capacity of commercial banks. Which of the following would reduce the credit creation capacity of a commercial bank? So, in order to reduce the capacity, the credit availability of commercial banks, the options given are time and demand deposits, loans, deposits with the central bank and cash in hand. The options given are A, B, A, D, B, C and C, D. The answer is C and D alone. The option D, C and D alone is the answer for this question. Now, we have another question. Which of the following are true for the environmental Kuznets curve, EKC? The options given are: the relationship between income and environmental damages takes the shape of an inverted U. EKC is applicable in case of irreversible environmental damage. EKC holds true for global pollutants. The environmental Kuznets curve hypothesis tends to represent a long-term relationship between economic growth and population. So, we have to choose multiple correct statements here from the options given in this particular slide, and from that we will get the answer, that is option B, that is A and D only. The answer is A and D statements are only true about the environmental Kuznets curve. Next, we have a match the following. We have list 1 and list 2 from public economics. We have different concepts in public economics. The list 1 will give you canons of taxation, canons of public expenditure, effective incidence of tax, benefits received approach of public expenditure. These are several concepts related to public economics, and we have to choose their corresponding proponents from list 2, that is from UK Hicks, Adam Smith, Findlay Shiraz and Eric Lindahl. So, the answer is, we have the options given here, and the answer is option B, that is A matched with 2, B to 3, C to 1 and D to 4. The next question is: arrange the following business cycles in ascending order in terms of their approximate duration. This is from macroeconomics. You can see the options are Kondratev cycle, Kitchen cycle, Jugular cycle and the Kuznets cycle. So, depending upon their duration, we have to arrange this in the ascending order. We have different orders given here, and from that we can choose the right answer as option B, B, C, D and finally A. Answer is option B for the business cycles, for arranging the business cycles according to their duration. The next statement is from welfare economics, that is we have 2 statements. Statement 1 goes like this: social welfare function is a sort of social indifference map consisting of the social indifference curves, which shows the various combinations of utilities that gives us the same level of social welfare, that is SW. Now, the second statement is: social indifference curves may not be convex or concave to the origin. So, this is the statement, these are the 2 statements given here related to social welfare function and social indifference curves, and in the light of the above statements we have to choose the most appropriate answer. We have different options corresponding to which statement is true, whether one is true or the other is false. Likewise, we can say that from this answer the correct option is option A, that is both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. That is both of the statements regarding social welfare function as well as that of the social indifference curve are correct in this particular question. The next question would be, which of the following are correct? Again, this is related to sampling which is direct, which can be found under statistics. That is, the options are, the statements are, if observations are selected purposefully, it is called a method of non-random sampling. If observations are selected in an ad hoc manner, it is called a method of non-random sampling. If observations are selected in a systematic manner, it is called a method of non-random sampling. And the final statement, if observations are selected on the basis of judgment, it can be called a method of non-random sampling. So, you have to carefully read all of these statements and find out which one is the correct answer. Again, we have multiple options given here, multiple combinations of those statements given here. From that, we can find out the differences between random and non-random sampling. The answer is correct answer is option B, that is A, B and D only. A, B and D only. Now, the next question is again continuing from statistics, that is, which one of the following measures of central tendency will be the most appropriate to use to data that can relate to rates, proportions and ratios. Okay, so, this is a very complex question. The options are arithmetic mean, geometric mean, harmonic mean and medium. So, the answer given in the provisional answer key is option B, geometric mean. So, we have to take answer B, geometric mean, as an answer for the ratios for finding out related to averages related to ratios, proportions and rates. Now, we have the next question, that is again from BOP, balance of payments and international economics. The items on the capital account of balance of payments are both stock and flow variables, changes in stock magnitudes, flow variables and stock variables. So, again the answer is very direct here. The answer is option C, that is flow variables. The items in the capital account will always be flow variables. Next question we have from environmental economics, that is, we have statements. Ministry of Environment and Forest in India was established in 1985. The Central Pollution Control Board was established in the year 1984. The Environment Protection Act was enacted in the year 1990. National Environment Appellate Authority Act was passed in the year 1977. We have to choose multiple correct statements from the options. So, from that we can choose the correct option as correct answer is option A, that is A and D alone are the right statements in this particular question. Continuing, we have yet another question from environment economics, that is, arrange the following United Nations Framework Convention on Climatic Change UNFCCC conferences in chronological order of their happening. So, we have to arrange these conventions. We have the Copenhagen Conference, the Doha Conference, the Paris Conference, the Katowice Conference. So, from that we have to order it chronologically, and the correct order would be the one which is given in option A, that is A, B, C and D in the given order itself. The next question, the movement from old level of expenditure and taxation to a new and higher level is called. This is again from public economics related to taxation. All of the first answer is all of the above, first option is. The second one is concentration effect, the third one is displacement effect and the fourth one is inspection effect. So, it is again a very direct question related to displacement effect. Actually, the answer is displacement effect, option C, displacement effect. When you move from one step to the other step, it is called a displacement effect. The next one is, in case of indifference curves of two goods X and Y, as consumption of X increases. So, we have an indifference curve, we have two goods. If the consumption of X increases, what can you conclude from that particular relationship? That is, first one will be option A will be, first MRS XY increases, but later on MRS XY decreases. MRS XY is a marginal rate of substitution, and option B is MRS XY increases, option C is MRS XY decreases, option D is MRS XY remains the same. The consumption of X increases, which means you are substituting it for Y. So, the answer would be, correct answer would be option C, that is the marginal rate of substitution of X for Y, XY decreases in this particular case. The answer is option C. Again, this is from welfare economics, that is you can also add these towards the externalities and other public economics related topics. Which method can help in obtaining a welfare improvement if externalities exist? So, option A is all of the above, B is assigning all of the, option A is all the options given, option B is assigning property rights and permitting bargaining, Pigovian taxes and regulation. So, these are the 4 options given here. The answer would be all the given options are the correct answer for that particular question. Answer A or option A, all of the above or the all the given options are correct. The next one is arrange the following committees of poverty estimation in the chronological order. So, in different forms this particular question has been asked over the years in different forms actually. We have already seen about Lakhandwala, Tendulkar and Rangarajan committee in some of the previous question papers. So, this is to order them in their chronological occurrence. First one is Alak committee, Lakhandwala committee, Tendulkar committee and the Rangarajan committee. We have to choose it from the options given here. The answer is option A, that is A, B, C, D, just as it is given in the question, A, B, C, D. Now, this is a new topic, that is zero based budgeting lays emphasis on, ZBB lays emphasis on allocation of resources based on cost benefit terms, unlimited debt financing, preparing a new budget right from the scratch and preparing the budget neglecting the history of expenditure. You have to correct, you have to choose multiple correct statements from here, from this particular question related to zero based budgeting. Here we have the options and from that the answer is option C, that is A, C and D only will be the correct answer, which is option C here. The next question is again from development economics related to the different neoclassical theories of growth and development. Which of the following is not the part of neoclassical theory of growth? Not the part of. We have options Maid's theory, Passanati model, Solar model and Swan model. The answer is option B, that is the Passanati model. The option is, and correct answer is option B, Passanati model. The next question is about LAF or liquidity adjustment facility, which is an important monetary policy tool used by the Reserve Bank of India, and which of these committees recommended that particular policy? The Bimal Jalan committee, Rangarajan committee, Narasimham committee 2, the Raghuram Rajan committee, and the answer is option C, Narasimham committee. The second Narasimham committee recommended LAF as a policy tool to be used in monetary policy, the Narasimham committee 2. The next question is again from Indian economy. Consider some of the important schemes or programs introduced by the government of India to enhance agriculture productivity and farmers' income. Arrange them in the chronological order. We have some of the important policy measures taken by the government to enhance agriculture productivity. The first one is soil health card scheme, the Kisan credit card scheme, we have the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, and we have doubling of farmers' income program. You have to order in the chronological order from these given options. The correct answer is answer B, that is B, A, C, D, starting from the Kisan credit card scheme to the doubling of farmers program, which is the final one which was released by the government lately. B, A, C, D, option B. The next question is from international trade. The question is, a sudden shift from import tariffs to free trade may induce short term unemployment in which of the following industries? The options given are import competing industries, industries that are only exporters, industries that neither import or export, industries that sell domestically as well as export. So, the answer is option A, import competing industries. Import competing industries are the one which are likely to be affected. The next question is from again population or demographics, that is the total population of city X in 2011 was 28 lakhs and the total number of live births was 50,000. Find out the crude birth rate per thousand population, the crude birth rate given the total population and the number of live births. The answer is option C, 17.857. Crude birth rate is 17.857, option C. Next question is about factor pricing. Which of the following conditions hold true for factor pricing when the factor market is perfectly competitive and the product market is monopolistic? So, which of the following are true regarding the factor pricing strategies? The first one is VMP, or the value of marginal product is greater than the marginal revenue productivity, or MRP, VMP greater than MRP. Second one, both VMP and MRP are decreasing. The third one, VMP is less than MRP. The fourth one is, or the final one is, MRP is equal to W. The marginal revenue product of labor will be equal to its wage rate, or W. So, from that we have to choose the correct options and the answer would be A, B and D alone, A, B and D alone. So, that was the question. The next question is about the efficiency condition of a public good. The question goes like this: the efficiency condition in the production of pure public good requires that the production be carried out up to a point when we have a marginal benefit as well as a marginal cost given here, and based upon these conditions we have to choose which will be the point where the pure public good will be produced, the optimum pure public good will be produced, and from the given options here we have the right answer as option A here, where the marginal benefit is equal to the marginal cost. That is a condition we have to keep in mind. The answer is first option A, where the marginal benefit is equal to marginal cost. So, the answer is option A. The next question is about gender budgeting, which is also a question which has been asked in some of the previous year questions. Which one of the following statements are relevant for gender budgeting? Options are: preparing a separate budget for women, gender budget is not practiced by the Government of India, evaluating budgetary provisions with a gender perspective, gender budgeting is a tool for gender empowerment. So, out of these options we have to find out the correct statements out of the different options given, and from that the correct option is option D, that is C and D alone. The statements C and D are correct ones. The option is option D. Now, the next question is of welfare economics. From welfare economics, which one of the following statements are correct for welfare economics? Any competitive equilibrium leads to a Pareto efficient allocation of resources. Option B is competitive equilibrium does not lead to Pareto efficient allocation of resources. Next option, any efficient allocation can be attained by a competitive equilibrium given the market mechanism leading to redistribution. Then the final option, there will be no Pareto efficient allocation of resources in the society. So, out of these statements we have to choose the correct statements, choose the correct answer from the options given below. We have separate different combinations, and from that the answer is option A. The correct answer is option A, that is statements A and C are true in this particular case, A and C. The next question is, at present the estimation of GDP for the estimation of GDP in India at constant prices, which one of the following years is used as the base year? So, this is a very direct question. The options are 2001 to 2000 to 2001, 2010 to 11, 11 to 12 and now 14 to 15. The correct answer would be 2011 to 12, that is option C. Now, we have a match the following question. This is from econometrics. As you can see, the list 1 gives you different concepts with regard to econometrics and as well as statistics. The list 2 relates to the will give you their corresponding matches, that is list 1 will have Card Frederick Goes, multicollinearity, mode, correlation, coefficient, and in list 2 we have central tendency, OLS, Karl-Pearson relationship between explanatory variables. So, we have to match list 1 with list 2. Out of these options, the correct answer would be option B, that is A matched with the 2, B with the 4, C with 1 and D with the 3. Option B is the correct answer. Now, the next question is, arrange the following concepts of consumer behavior in chronological order. Again, this is a very common question. Arranging these: law of diminishing marginal utility, law of demand, revealed preference analysis and indifference curve analysis. We have several orders given here as options, and out of this the correct order will be as given in the option D. B, A, D, C is the correct order of their according to their chronological development, and option D is the answer. We have arranged, next question, arrange the following in chronological order in which they were introduced. So, these were different indicators of human development and related to human development. The different options are SDGs, MPI, PQLI and HDI. So, on the basis of their introduction, we can choose from the options given here, from the orders given here. The correct answer would be option B as given in option B, that is C, D, B and A. That was the question again from development economics, and also you can relate it to the current affairs also. Now, we have the next question about Phillips curve from macroeconomics. What type of relationship the Phillips curve postulates between the rate of unemployment and the rate of increase in money wages? Again, a very direct question from macroeconomics. What relationship is there between unemployment and money wages? Option A is direct and proportional, option B is direct, option C is inverse and proportional, and option D is inverse relationship. It's again a very simple question. The answer is option D, inverse relationship. Then again we have one from Human Development Index, again from development economics. The HDI currently as published by the UNDP is calculated by using which of the following measures? The measures are arithmetic mean, geometric mean, harmonic mean and quadratic mean. So, the answer is option B here. Geometric mean will be used for calculating Human Development Index. Option B, geometric mean. The next question again from international trade, that is the net barter terms of trade is referred to as, again a very much asked question. Option A, the excess of import expenditures over export earnings, the ratio between export prices and import prices, the terms and conditions on which a country is offered a loan in the event of the balance of payment difficulties, and trade agreements. So, how do you calculate net barter terms of trade? It is option B here. The ratio between export prices and import prices will give you the net barter terms of trade. Again we have the next question from Indian economy. In which of the following ways have there been structural changes in agriculture and rural areas in India? So, this is a very good question from Indian economy. The options are crop diversification within agriculture sector, diversification from livestock to crop husbandry. Option C is diversification from non-commercial to commercial crops, and the final option being diversification from the traditional inputs to modern inputs. We have to choose the most important or most correct of these statements from the options as given here. The answer is option C. Option C is the correct answer, that is A. Statements A, C and D are correct statements related to the development of agriculture and rural areas in India. Next question is again from mathematics, mathematical economics, given y is equal to x cube minus 12x square plus 36x plus 8. Identify which one of the following statements is correct. Option A is y is maximum at x is equal to 6 and minimum at x is equal to 2. Second option, y is minimum at x is equal to 6 and maximum at x is equal to 2. Option C is y has two inflection points at x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 6, and the final option, point of optimality is indeterminate. So, you have to use the maxima minima conditions, derivative maxima minima conditions in order to find this particular answer, and the answer is option B, that is y is minimum at x is equal to 6 and maximum at x is equal to 2. Option B is the correct answer. Again, from macro you can have another question relating to multiplier, again a very simple question. Which of the following functions will result in an investment multiplier of value 4? Again a commonly asked question. We have 4 functions given, C is equal to 50 plus 0.25y, 50 is plus 0.75y, minus 50 plus 0.25y and 50 plus 0.75y. The answers can be chosen from the options given here, and the correct answer would be B and C alone. From B and C we can calculate the value of the multiplier as 4. Next, again from mathematics, you will see the question is from set theory. Identify which one of the following statements is incorrect, which are the statements that are incorrect. 4 options here. If x intersection y is equal to theta, then x minus y is not equal to x. X minus y is equal to x intersection y bar. Complement of a universal set is a null set. Intersection of 2 disjoint set is a null set. So, out of these options, this is directly from the properties, this is taken directly from the properties of the set theory. So, from these we have to find out the incorrect option, which is option A, that is x intersection y equal to theta, then x minus y not equal to x, option A. The next question again from macroeconomics. Which one of the following measures would result in an increase in the money supply in the economy? The reasons for increase in the money supply. First one, purchase of government securities from the public by the central bank, deposit of currency in commercial banks by the public, borrowing by the government from the central bank, sale of government securities to the public by the central bank, minting of more currency by the central bank for circulation. So, out of these particular activities undertaken by the government and the monetary authorities, which one will lead to an increase in the money supply? Again, we have to choose multiple statements here, multiple statements which should be chosen, and out of this we can see that the answer is option B, that is statements A, C and E will create an increase in the money supply in the economy. A, C and E. Option is option B. The next question again from macroeconomics. Consider the following statements about the rational expectations model. That is, what are the implications, right? It is directly related to the implications of rational expectations model. That is, monetary policy cannot affect output and employment. Unanticipated changes will not affect real variables in the very short run. There is equilibrium in the markets. Economic agents use all relevant information in order to form their expectations. So, it is regarding the rational expectations model. Again, we have multiple statements here which are to be chosen, and out of that the correct answer would be option C, that is A, C and D are the correct statements here with answer option C. And moving on, we have the next question. Which one of the following statements is correct with regard to the FDI in India in financial year 2020, the foreign direct investment in India in 2020. Share of services sector is the highest. We have the share of infrastructure activities is the highest. Share of computer hardware and software is the second position. Share of telecommunications is the highest. So, out of this we have to choose the correct answers, correct statements with regard which correctly explains the services sector FDI in India in 2020. The correct answer is option A, that is A. Statements A and C are the ones which are correct with option A. Now, the next question from development economics. Harrowed neutral technical progress is necessarily option A, capital augmenting, growth augmenting, labor augmenting and resource augmenting. Again, a very commonly asked question. It has been repeatedly asked in many of the previous year examinations. The answer is answer C, labor augmenting, labor augmenting. The next question is about correlation analysis, again from our statistics part. Which one of the following statements are correct for correlation analysis? Degree of linear association is measured between two variables. Predictability is not part of correlation analysis. Spearman has no contribution to the correlation analysis. Cause and effect relationship is established through correlation analysis. Again, a very easy options from which you can easily identify the correct answers or correct statements with regard to the correlation analysis. We have options given here, and the correct answer is A and B only, with option number B as the correct answer. Statements A and B are true, option B is the correct answer. Then we have a microeconomic question here. In the short run production function, which one of the following is correct? A short run production function. The options given are: technology is assumed to be constant for a given production function relationship. Technology is assumed to change as capital stock changes. Technology is assumed to change as labor input changes. Technology is assumed to change positively under diminishing returns set in. And the correct answer would be option A, that is technology is assumed to be constant for a given production function relationship, since it is a short run production function. The answer is option A. And from the next question onwards, we will start our comprehension part. We will have different paragraphs. We had 2 comprehensions from which we had to answer 5 questions each. You can see this paragraph along with the next questions, and from that you can read and find out the answers. We will discuss the questions here, and the questions include what happened to the anchoring of inflation expectations. The options given are: inflation expectations anchored in a very strong form, inflation expectations anchored in a weak form in post FIT period. There was a negative association between realized and expected inflation. There was no association between realized and expected inflation, and from that particular paragraph or comprehension, we can find the answer as option B. Answer is option B, inflation expectations anchored in a weak form in the post FIT period. The second question for that particular paragraph is: what has empirical evidence shown? Empirical, it is a question about inflation and its empirical evidence. Out of the given options given here, out of the 4 options given here, we have the correct answer, that is option C, that is degree of policy transparency increased but after coming into the force of FIT. You can directly find these answers from the comprehension, which will be shown along with this particular screen, and the answer for that question is option C. Then we have the third question: inflation expectations of which group was empirically tested? Which group was empirically tested? Again, out of the 4 options, we have a correct answer, that is option A, that is both professional forecasters and householders. The next question is: which of the following index has been constructed? And from the options given, we can find the answer as option A, that is index monetary policy transparency for India is the correct answer for this particular question. And we have the final question from the first comprehension, that is which time span has been described as the transition period of the monetary policy, and out of the 4 time spans given here, we have the correct answer as answer C, that is 2014 to 2016. So, that was the 5 questions from the first comprehension. Then we will move on to the next comprehension passage about an infinite industry argument, etc., and about mostly related to tariff, import tariff, export tariff, etc. And from that we will have different questions here. The first question was: the obstacles for an industry to compete with more established foreign firms are due to. We have 4 options given here, and out of which the correct answer should be option C here: lack of know-how and initial small level of output. Option C is the correct answer for the first question from the second comprehension. The second question: which of the following is a direct aid to domestic industry? A direct aid to domestic industry, and according to the passage, the answer is option D, that is production subsidy is the correct answer for this particular question. Now we have the third question, that is development countries are characterized by, and we have from based on the paragraph or the comprehension that we read, that we are reading, the answer should be, out of the 4 options, the answer should be option D, that is improper functioning of the capital markets, option D. Then we have the next question, that is which of the following is effective in preventing external diseconomies? External diseconomies. So, we have several options. We have to check it with our passage or the paragraph, and then on the basis of that the answer would be option A, that is a direct tax. A direct tax is the answer for that particular question. Then we have the next question, which is the most appropriate instrument of trade protection? Most appropriate instrument of trade protection. Out of the options, export tariff, import tariff, non-tariff barriers and production subsidy, the answer should be option D, production subsidy. Well, that was the final question from our paragraph and as well as from our examination as well. So, out of these 100 questions that we have discussed, most of the questions were asked from the previous year areas only. That means, the questions were most of the questions were repeatedly asked. Some importance were given to major importance was given to Indian economy. As you can see, there were several questions from Indian economy, mostly related with agriculture, and as well as several new initiatives that has been initiated and taken up by the, or followed by the government. And we also had some important questions from environmental economics as well. Macroeconomics, we had some basic questions from macroeconomics. And there were a mix of questions from almost all the sections and modules of economics, modules that came under economics. So, I guess with that we can conclude our discussion on question papers with our provisional answer key. Thank you so much.